if you are over 60 years old, every movement you make, every step you take, or even the moments you stand still can directly affect your heart. Did you know that some common exercises, the very ones you think are good for your health, can actually silently harm your heart every day? I'm not saying this to make you worry, but to protect you. As a cardiologist, I have met many elderly patients who came in seeming healthy but were found to have high blood pressure, arrhythmia, or signs of heart strain that they were completely unaware of. And in many cases, the cause is not diet or lack of exercise, but incorrect exercise practices. Exercises that are too strenuous, too rushed, or unsuitable for an aging heart need to be treated with much gentler care. Most elderly people do not realize they are making this mistake. In this video, I sincerely urge you to immediately stop 5 types of exercises that may be weakening your heart instead of making it stronger. But don't worry, I will also show you how to exercise correctly and more safely. Keep watching, because your heart deserves the best care. And maybe the first habit you need to adjust is what you are doing today. Before we start, if you haven't subscribed yet, please press the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss practical health tips made just for you. If you find this video helpful, leave the number 1 in the comments. If you are not satisfied, leave 0 so I can improve the content better for you. First exercise: sit-ups and heavy weightlifting. When strength training betrays your heart. There is a common belief that building strong muscles will help us protect our health as we age, and this is partly true. Muscles help us move flexibly, maintain balance, and keep independence in life. However, as a cardiology specialist, I have witnessed many complex and dangerous cases when older adults perform exercises such as sit-ups, crunches, or heavy weightlifting without fully understanding the internal pressure these movements create, unintentionally putting their hearts at risk. Many do not realize that when they strain themselves to perform a single sit-up or lift weights, the pressure inside the abdominal and chest cavities spikes suddenly. This pressure does not just stay in the abdomen or chest but spreads deep inside, pushing upward, causing a temporary increase in blood pressure and forcing the heart to work harder to compensate. For an aging heart, especially those already damaged by stiff arteries or underlying atherosclerosis, this can be a dangerous breaking point. I have treated many patients who fainted during exercise, experienced chest pain while working out, or had arrhythmias right after what seemed like a normal training session. The irony is that these people are not indifferent to their health. On the contrary, they make great efforts to maintain good condition. However, the body at 60 or 70 is no longer as resilient as in youth. The circulatory system loses elasticity, and the heart becomes more sensitive to sudden pressure changes. Just one time of lifting weights with incorrect posture or one improper abdominal contraction can lead to undesirable consequences during training. The key is not to avoid strength training altogether, but to adjust properly. Use resistance bands instead of heavy weights. Perform movements slowly, control the pace, and train with a coach who understands cardiovascular limits. You do not need to stop exercising, just avoid sudden shocks to your system. However, risks do not always arise from exertion. Sometimes even simple changes, like environmental temperature, can be felt sharply by your heart even if you cannot see them. High-intensity interval training, HIIT. After age 60, your heart is no longer the strong heart of youth because it gradually becomes sensitive, vulnerable, and less able to withstand excessive impacts. That is why HIIT exercises consisting of bursts of high-intensity activity alternating with rest periods can become one of the most risky forms of training for older adults. As a cardiologist, I have seen many elderly people enthusiastically pursue this workout trend, believing that the more they sweat, the better it is for their health and longevity. However, the truth is that these exercises place sudden and intense pressure on the heart, while many hearts have been silently enduring high blood pressure, arrhythmias, or atherosclerosis. When you push yourself to the point of heavy breathing and your heart beating faster than the safe limit, it does not make you healthier. On the contrary, it creates a very high risk. Worse, damage is not always immediately obvious. The heart silently endures pressure, blood pressure rises slightly but is ignored, and the electrical rhythm of the heart becomes unstable. You may only feel tired or slightly dizzy, mistaken for signs of aging. But in fact, these are the red flags from your heart, often overlooked until it is too late. What is most heartbreaking is that many elderly people choose HIIT to maintain independence, live longer, or keep up with younger generations. But the cost of exceeding the body's limits can be an emergency visit or a life-changing event. Proper training should help your heart become stronger, not weaker. Gentle walking, Tai Chi, slow swimming, these are the silent heroes protecting the elderly heart. They support the body without causing excessive pressure, working harmoniously with the heart's rhythm instead of opposing it. At 60, 70, or beyond, safety is the real strength. Consistent endurance is the long-term success. However, there is another common mistake I often see, not only related to exercise but also posture and pressure during workouts. Unfortunately, it silently exists in gyms and home training sessions. If you find these insights helpful, please comment with the number 1 below so I know you are with me. Now, let's explore the next part. Jumping, fast movements, and sudden direction changes, the hidden chaos in the aging body. There is something about fast-paced exercises that makes us feel full of vitality, as if challenging time itself. Jumping, rushing upstairs, burpees, or high-speed aerobic classes may seem harmless, even energizing. But after turning 60, these movements can quietly cause chaos in a body no longer able to withstand shocks, speed, or sudden changes like before. I have met many elderly patients, originally healthy and proud of themselves, trying to keep up with the lively rhythm of community exercise classes or online workouts. Not long after, they return to the clinic with symptoms of dizziness, rapid heartbeat, or even unexplained falls. This is not a sign of weakness, but a biological law. As age increases, the nervous system reacts more slowly, balance declines, and arteries become stiffer. Sudden, fast movements like jumping, turning, or instantly changing direction create a storm of pressure on the cardiovascular system. Blood pressure fluctuates, the heart may become arrhythmic, and oxygen supply to the body is affected. These movements not only strain muscles but also disrupt the body's balance. A small jump or seemingly simple step can become a challenge for coordination, blood circulation, and recovery ability in an aging body. For older adults with mild existing cardiovascular problems, the risk of arrhythmia or dangerous falls is very real. The sad truth is that they only want to keep themselves active, youthful, and independent. However, true strength at this age lies not in speed, but in control. Not in how fast you move, but in how well you protect what is most precious: your heart, your balance, and your peace of mind. Gentle, slow exercises like Tai Chi, water aerobics, or light stretching may be less flashy, but are very effective. They help stabilize the body, soothe the heart, and extend lifespan without causing risk. Nevertheless, even with safe movements, another risk exists, not in how we exercise, but in when we exercise, especially when it coincides with simple but common habits like bedtime. Exercising too late at night. At first, exercising in the evening seems like a reasonable solution. After a long day, when the house is quiet, you finally have time to move. But for people aged 60, 70, and older, this seemingly convenient habit can quietly harm one of the body's most vital processes: restorative sleep. I've often seen elderly people taking gentle walks after dinner, doing light cardio before bed, or even trying to do quick workouts late at night with strong discipline. They mean well, but do not realize that even light physical activity close to bedtime can stimulate the nervous system, raise the heart rate, and interfere with the body's natural transition into a deep rest state for recovery. As age increases, sleep becomes more fragile, and the internal circadian cycle becomes more sensitive to disruptive factors. Late-night exercise, especially if it raises body temperature or adrenaline levels, sends a "stay alert" signal to the brain right when it needs to relax. The danger lies in the fact that poor quality sleep is directly linked to high blood pressure, increased inflammation, insulin resistance, and even arrhythmias. The heart needs rest like muscles do, even more so. If you often sacrifice deep sleep for late workouts, you may be losing the most important time for the heart to repair and recover. It is not that older adults shouldn't exercise, but that exercise must harmonize with the body's natural biological cycle. Morning or early afternoon workouts help promote deeper sleep, stable energy, and better cardiovascular health. Let the evening be a time for relaxation, not acceleration. Because sleep is when the heart recovers, And there is also a small but important habit during waking hours that many older people overlook until it becomes a cause of heart risk. Exercising in extreme temperature conditions. When the weather becomes a silent enemy to your heart. We often say that exercise is the key to better health, and that is absolutely true. But for older adults, the timing and environment of exercise are just as important as the exercise itself. I have witnessed many elderly people with good intentions going for walks in the cold winter mornings or hot summer afternoons, unaware that those weather conditions are actually working against their hearts. After age 60, the body's ability to regulate internal temperature gradually decreases. In the cold, blood vessels constrict to keep warm, causing blood pressure to rise. This is a natural reaction, but it creates pressure on the heart, which may already face issues like hypertension or atherosclerosis. Conversely, when it is hot, blood vessels dilate, the heart beats faster to cool the body down, and dehydration happens much faster than many realize. In both cases, the heart works not because you are exerting yourself, but just to survive in harsh conditions. I have met many patients who fainted or experienced difficulty breathing after only a few minutes of walking under intense heat or cold. These are not isolated incidents, but clear warnings. Many older adults have yet to realize that the cardiovascular system is very sensitive to changes in environmental temperature. Your heart doesn't need to run a marathon to be stressed. Just encountering the wrong environment at the wrong time is enough. Exercise should be a method of healing, not a risk for the elderly. That means choosing comfort over challenge. Exercising indoors where the temperature is stable, drinking enough water before, during, and after exercise, and wearing appropriate clothing, breathable or warm depending on the season. But most importantly, listen to your body when it whispers before it has to scream. Although weather is an external enemy, there is a deeper risk from the types of movements many older adults choose, especially fast, jerky motions that disrupt physical and neurological balance. What happens next might surprise you. If you're following along and find this information useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know. Now, let's continue with the next topic. A message from my heart to yours. The silent power of truly listening to your own body. If you've watched this far, I am truly grateful. It shows you care not only about living longer but also living better. And that is why I want to speak to you now. Not as a doctor, but as a compassionate witness who has seen too much preventable suffering. I have spent decades in hospitals and clinics, beside elderly people who were once healthy, wise, and full of life, until one decision, one habit, or one single exercise took it all away. Many of them said just one simple sentence, "I didn't think it was a big deal." That sentence haunts me, because once you're over 60, almost everything becomes important. What you eat, how you move, how you rest, and how you handle stress. Your heart, after all these years silently accompanying you, is increasingly longing for care, not out of fear, but because it is necessary. You don't need to exercise like you did at 30, nor chase the ideal of active aging if your body doesn't allow it. What you need is perseverance, kindness, and awareness. There is no medal for overexertion, only the priceless reward of waking up each day with a steady heart and clear mind. Let go of the thought, the more the better. Instead, choose wisely, not harder. Walk with mindfulness, rest with purpose, move in harmony with your age, not against it. That is true strength, courage, and the shield protecting your heart. However, even if you adjust your habits, there is another trap I must warn you about. Not during exercise, but in the moments you neglect to care for yourself. When the cost of doing nothing silently accumulates, that is the final beat. Your heart needs wisdom, not silence. If there is one truth I have learned after many years of cardiovascular research, it is this: the heart demands little, yet it gives you everything. It beats without your command, walks with you through every emotion, every step, every year. But after 60, the heart needs you to listen, not out of fear, but out of respect. The 5 exercises I advise you to stop are not because they are bad, but because they no longer suit the aging heart. What once energized you can now exhaust you. What once built strength can become pressure, and that is perfectly normal. Aging does not mean weakness, but wisdom. Your journey ahead is not about moving faster, but moving smarter, breathing deeper, and choosing what heals instead of harms. Because health is not measured by sweat or speed, but by the silent strength of persistence, balance, and care. Let today be the day you start protecting your heart, not punishing it. And if no one has told you this before, you are not too old, not too late. And every gentle choice you make adds life to your years and years to your life. Now step forward carefully, gently, always carrying your heart in your mind. These lessons are shared with the hope of inspiring you to live fully and authentically. I truly look forward to hearing from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you have learned and plan to apply in your life. Let's support and accompany each other on this journey. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment with the number 1 or 0 if not yet. Your feedback is very valuable to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more meaningful content.